Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Walter Brown Arena on the campus of Boston University in Boston, Massachusetts. Here to bring you today's high school varsity girls hockey contest between the visiting Nantucket High School Whalers and the hosting Brookline High Warriors. I hope everybody's had a nice holiday break. And I hope everybody's excited for the new year as we are about to kiss 2022 goodbye. And in the meanwhile, as we wrap up this winter holiday, we get ourselves a nice treat to a home girls hockey contest here for the Brookline Warriors. The Warriors still looking for their first win of the year. They'll be coming into this contest with an 0-4 record. They've had a couple of heartbreakers early on in this season. Of course, those of you who follow my streams, you probably saw that tough 5-4 loss to Arlington Catholic in the season opener. Since then, Brookline has suffered a 5-2 road loss to Weymouth on December 14th. They lost at Wellesley on December 17th in overtime 2-1. And then they lost 3-0 at Leominster on December 21st. So it was a tough road stretch, and it's been a rocky start to the season for the Warriors. But they're hoping to get one in the win column today against the Whalers. Friendly reminder that if you guys end up enjoying this live stream, be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams, including all home games for both Brookline High girls and boys hockey this season. And if there's anything you'd like to say, I encourage you to say it in the live chat. It could be as simple as go Brookline or even go Nantucket if you're a Nantucket fan who happens to be tuning in. It could be a shout out to your favorite player, a commentary on what's going on the ice out here. It could be something as fun as where you're tuning in from. You know, sometimes we hear about people tuning in from other states or even other countries, and that's always fun. Or some of the more important reasons, if you notice any technical difficulties with the live stream, anything wrong with the video or the audio, it might be something that I don't notice on my end, and so a message in the live chat could help. And then, of course, if you notice me flubbing the pronunciation of anyone's names, or if I have any jersey numbers wrong on the rosters I was given, then corrections are highly encouraged so that I can give these young student athletes the quality coverage that they deserve. So be sure to participate in the live chat, like and subscribe. Thank you all for tuning in. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, and you are watching Brookline High Hockey. Now Brookline skating on the counter. Pass ahead to Janowski. Janowski shot, and that one's in! Gives it to Chin. Chin pass for Palmer. Palmer couldn't control it. There she recovers and scores! Now stolen away. A pass to Chin. Chin fires and scores! Shayna Blankstein Chin. Open chance. Izzy Pace off to the races. Shot, score! Izzy Pace ties it up. All right, seems like we've timed our intro video well, as the visiting Nantucket Whalers have come out onto the ice for their warm-up skates. So let's go through the Nantucket roster real quick. Going in order of jersey number for the Whalers, first off we have number 1, an alternate captain, Caroline Allen. Next up, number 2, Sadie Patterson. Number 3, Annabelle Burton. Number 4, Eliza Mansfield. Number 5, Estella Groh. Number 6, Grace Keene. Number 7, Adeline Edwards. Number 8, a captain, Lydia Johnson. Number 9, Sophia Yelverton. Number 10, Samantha Barrett. Number 12, Alex Weisentainer. Number 13, Lila McKechnie. Number 14, Laurel Fox. Number 15, Mia Bodette. Number 16, Georgia Stahl. Number 17, Bailey Lower. Number 18, Sophia Sullivan. Number 19, an alternate captain, Emerson Perkarchik. Number 21, Dylan Damian. Number 23, Sam Zadroga. Number 25, Mason Lower. Number 26, Captain Claire Miserelli. Number 28, Sarah O'Banian. Number 30, Sienna Monto. Sienna Monto. Head coach of the Nantucket High girls hockey team is Liz Collins, with assistant coaches Cassie Thompson, Max Perkins, Teddy Nixon, and Jill Fay. So that is the roster for the visiting Nantucket High School Whalers. And once again, if there are any Nantucket fans in this stream, then I encourage you to let me know if I'm pronouncing any names incorrectly or anything like that. And I see we do have at least one Nantucket fan, Michael Miserelli, watching from Nantucket. Thank you for your commentary. Go Whalers. Well, thank you very much for tuning in, Michael. I'm happy you guys are able to watch. I know Nantucket would be a bit of a trip, so I'm happy to provide that. And I'm also happy to provide this service to our Brookline Warriors fans, as well as here come the home team Brookline Warriors. Reading through the roster for Brookline as they begin their warm-up skates. Once again, going in order of jersey number. First off, we have a sophomore, number 1, Aurora Charbonneau. A freshman, number 2, Emma Lurie. A sophomore, number 4, Casey McCarthy. A senior captain, number 7, Julia Janowski. A senior, number 8, Grayson Davis. A senior captain, number 9, Riley Lackey. A senior, number 11, Sophia Hauser. A senior, number 12, Sophia Schneider. A sophomore, number 13, Shayna Chin. A freshman, number 15, Clara Tebow. A senior, number 16, Maggie Coffey O'Reilly. A sophomore, number 17, Izzy Pace. A sophomore, number 18, Sui Jin Koo. A sophomore, number 21, Etta Reed. A senior, number 22, Diane Lee. A freshman, number 24, Caroline Hughes. A sophomore, number 25, Birdie Hawkins. A senior, number 27, Tina Chang. A senior, number 35, Razi Carew Lyons. A junior, number 37, Meredith Allen. And a senior, number 77, Jenna Rosetto. Head coach of the Brookline High girls hockey team is Nick Sama, with assistant coaches Carly Radovich and Mark Haley. So that is the roster for the Brookline High Warriors. You might have noticed one slight change on the roster. Initially, my roster had Birdie Hawkins at number 10, when in fact, she is wearing number 25 this season. So there was a bit of confusion during the Arlington Catholic game when I saw a player wearing number 25, which I didn't have on my roster. So that has been cleared up, which is good. Unfortunately, in terms of season stats, I only have the numbers from the game that I covered against Arlington Catholic. I know that Izzy Pace had 2 goals, Shayna Chin had a goal and an assist, Sway-Jin Koo had a goal, Julia Janowski, Sophia Hauser, and Riley Lackey each had 2 assists, and Clara Thibault had 1 assist. Unfortunately, I don't have the numbers from the Weymouth or Wellesley games, as I know that Brookline scored in both of those games. I unfortunately don't know who scored or who assisted. But, you know, we do the best with what we got. We got about 30 seconds on the pregame clock, and we've got some more Whalers fans tuning in. Jen watching from Detroit. Let's go Whalers number 10, obviously referring to Samantha Barrett. And obviously, as I saw Michael Misarelli's comment earlier, I imagine there's a relation to Nantucket captain number 26, Claire Misarelli. And then Caroline Montgomery also watching from Nantucket. And then we see a Brookline fan in the live chat as well, Nancy Lackey. I assume a relation to Brookline captain Riley Lackey, number 9, watching from Geneseo. Go Brookline. I have never heard of that before. Well, that's either a city in Kansas or a town in New York State, because Google can only be so helpful. But the two teams now huddling up around their respective nets before we get this game underway. Brookline being the home team, they will start by going from left to right, while the Whalers will be going from right to left in the first period. Once again, I remind you guys, if you end up enjoying this live stream, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams, including all home games for BHS boys and girls hockey. And Michael Misarelli coming through with a good example of another good reason to use the live chat. Aside from just rooting for your favorite team, you can also let me know if I'm flubbing the pronunciation of anyone's names. So we've already got that. We've already got one correction, so now I know I'm going to be pronouncing that correctly the rest of the way, and that makes me feel better. It makes me feel better knowing I'm getting this right and that I'm properly, covering these young student athletes. Want to give them the best I can. And then we've got another live chat letting us know where they're tuning in from. Teresa Groh cheering on Estella Groh from Madison, Connecticut. That, of course, referring to number 5 for Nantucket. So it looks like we're not going to get any starting lineups or national anthem. We're just going to get right to the action. So Brookline against Nantucket. Here we go. We get ready for the opening faceoff here in the first period. Here we go. Puck has dropped. Bit of a scrum between the centers, and it's ultimately won by Brookline's Shayna Chin. Passes it back, and a long pass goes back for Chin, but it's broken up by the Whalers. Scrum along the near side boards. It's won back by Brookline. Passed back, I believe that's number 21, Etta Reed. Swung it over to number 11, Sophia Hauser, who's now working it through the neutral zone. Sends it off the boards into the Nantucket end. And we got a bit of a slip and a fall there. Brookline trying to take advantage. A pass through to the slot, broken up. Good defense by Nantucket's number 15, Mia Bodette, to prevent a potential crosser aimed at Shayna Chin. Nantucket tries to clear, but Hauser keeps up the pressure, tries a backhand pass, again broken up by Bodette. Bodette now trying to get it out of her own zone. She does, into the neutral zone by herself. But a potential turnaround here during a line change. Quick pass to Julia Janowski, trying to weave her way through. Shot is turned away. Brookline keeping up the attack. Janowski tried to poke it in, not there. Deflected back out. Another shot. That one is walled off, attempted by Riley Lackey, blocked by number 11, who is not on my roster. That might be Ruby Muise, who was on the roster but didn't have a jersey number, as we've got an offsides call here against the Whalers. So we had our first shot on goal and our first save of the day. That came from Nantucket alternate captain number 1, Caroline Allen. And it's number 1 in net for both teams as Aurora Charbonneau gets the start in net for the Warriors. Faceoff goes deep in the Brookline end, tracked down by Lackey. Sent around the boards, awkwardly blocked by, I think, Izzy Pace. And now Julia Janowski with a nice kick deflection to get the puck back to Brookline. Excuse me. When you hear kick, you think ball. So I got kind of mixed up there, but we've got an offsides call, this one against Brookline, as number 15, Clara Thibault, crossed the blue line while, or I think she was across it when the puck came across. Neutral zone face-off. Scrummed for. Puck is loose in open space. Being scrummed for along the boards, ultimately controlled by the Whalers. Number 7, Adeline Edwards, tries to pass up, broken up, but recovered by the Whalers. Number 8, Lydia Johnson, trying to corral it. Manages to get the puck to number 17, Bailey Lower. Lower fires a shot, covered up by Charbonneau. We'll have a Brookline end face-off here, and it's won by Nantucket. Long insert is blocked off immediately by the Warriors. That is Shayna Chin trying to send a pass through, deflects off a skate, taken back by Johnson. Now a scrum for the puck. Still being fought for, ultimately controlled by Bailey Lower, sends it deep in the Brookline end, going around the boards as Nantucket commits to a line change here. A long pass out to the far side, tried to take advantage of the change, but couldn't be collected cleanly by Thibault. And now the Whalers trying to skate on the counter. Making an approach is number 11, walled off. Good block by Sophia Hauser, recovered by Reed. Pass over to Thibault. Thibault couldn't fight it through several defenders. Taken back by 11. Pass across. Found an open target for a second. I believe that was number 6, Grace Keene, who almost had a chance there but was disrupted too quickly by the defense. This one goes back to the Brookline end where it's controlled by Reed. Passed across to Hauser. Sent up to Janowski. Janowski passed across to Thibault. Got away from her. Stolen away by Lower, but Lower lost track of the puck. Thibault takes it back. Backhand pass gets up to Janowski. Winds and fires and scores! Julia Janowski! The Brookline captain gets the Warriors on the board first, assisted by Clara Thibault. So Brookline jumps on the board pretty quickly. We've still got 11 and a half minutes left in this first period, and Brookline has the first goal of the game. Shayna Chin trying to make an approach, slipped and fell, but the puck got pinned to the boards, and so coming out with it is Brookline. Pass goes back to, I believe, Lackey. Shot is blocked, goes into the corner, and a hard collision in the corner, and this, I think, is going to be a delayed penalty, so Brookline is pulling the goalie, trying to get an extra attack. Long launching shot by Lackey, and it could not be poked in by number 24, Caroline Hughes. And so this will simply lead to a power play for Brookline, as it looks like coming off for Nantucket will be number 15, Mia Bodette. That's a tough situation for Nantucket, not just being on the penalty kill, but Bodette was making some very good defensive plays early in this game. So losing that kind of defensive presence while also going on the penalty kill can be pretty tough. Nantucket end faceoff instantly won by Brookline, controlled by Janowski, sends a pass out to the far end boards. Chin gets it back to Janowski, knocked away but recovered by Chin. Pass goes back. Long shot is walled off but recovered by Hauser. Tries to push it to the slot, knocked away. Whalers try to clear, but it's recovered by Reed. Tries an insert, again deflected. Attempted clear once again, recovered by Reed. Sent around the boards. Now sent further around the boards. Good clear by Nantucket. Excuse me. Hauser bringing up the puck for the Warriors. Sends a pass across, finds Janowski. Janowski a long shot, save made by Allen. And now a long clear from number 11, who again I'm guessing is Ruby Muise, but if any of the Nantucket fans watching this know for certain, please let me know in the live chat. As this one is taken back by the Whalers, firing on the shorthand. Shot goes high and wide from number 17, Bailey Lower. Now the Whalers trying to go on the attack, but that pass intercepted by the Warriors. Skating on the counter, this is Izzy Pace. Pace gains the blue line, forces it all the way down to the back end, but runs out of room. Trying to work against her defender, Bailey Lower. And it's finally stolen away. Brought around the back. The attempted clear is walled off by Riley Lackey. Tries an insert, turned away by Allen. Recovered by Tebow, coming around the back. Tries to jam one in, but Allen had that well covered. Another attempted clear. This is Lydia Johnson bringing it out into the neutral zone, but it's deflected back into the Nantucket end where another attempted clear is walled off. And we are back on even strength. Bodette back out on the ice. This is Lower with the puck. Through the neutral zone. Skating on the attack, long shot well wide. Recovers, another shot comes in wide. As it slides around the boards, finally recovered by number 17, Edwards. Number 7, excuse me, was Edwards. That pass intercepted by Chin. Pushed into the Nantucket end. Race to the boards, and it's deflected. And a hard check into the boards. That's going to be a cross-check against Brookline. So now Nantucket dealing with the delayed penalty. They haven't pulled the goalie yet, but now Brookline has touched it. There's the whistle. That was a hard collision. I think it was Claire Miserelli that took that tumble into the boards. She looks to be okay, but you've got to penalize a move like that just because of how dangerous it can be. Pushing someone into the boards is a pretty typical play in hockey, but when you get into kind of that no man's land where there's a little bit of space between you and the boards, then it becomes dangerous because then you're pushing someone off balance and they're going head first into the boards, and people can get hurt doing that. So this will now be a power play for the Whalers. Miserelli skating with it, sends a pass back to a teammate that wasn't quite ready for it but managed to receive it. Pass goes across. Oh, and now a steal. This is Janowski taking off, trying to take advantage of the mistake. Winds up and fires, but it's deflected off the defense from Bodette. Beaudet now skating with it, trying to bring it back onto the power play. Gets all the way to the Brookline end. Tries to weave around a defender, but poked away by Sophia Hauser. Now off the scrum, it's taken by Izzy Pace, launched into the Nantucket end as Brookline commits to a line change. Try and work it up, but now Brookline trying to skate on the attack on the shorthand, weaving through, a shot just missed. I think that might have been saved by Allen. I'm not sure. Shayna Chin had a golden opportunity there, but now skating on the counter is blatantly lower, and it's saved by Charbonneau. I think that might have been the first really big threat there. Still 53 seconds on the penalty against Brookline's Birdie Hawkins, number 25. Now a scrum out of the face-off. It's knocked into open ice, going to be chased down by Sui-Jin Koo. The clear gets into the neutral zone, deflects off a ref's skate, and is taken by Beaudet. Beaudet gains the blue line, weaving through, fires a shot. That one deflects off Rosetto. Might have been going wide anyhow. Brookline now attempting to clear, but skating in for it is Keene. Tries a shot, blocked by Chin. Chin attempts the clear. It's recovered. Attempted pass back, and they try and center it to Keene, but it's off the mark and cleared out by Chin. 12 seconds left on the power play for the Whalers. Beaudet skating with it as both teams make a change. Poked away, but taken by number 11. Shot is deflected wide, recovered by Miserelli around the back. Tried to send a pass through to the slot, finds 11. 11 turns around, fires a shot, it's blocked. Now sent around the boards. Attempted clear is walled off by Edwards. Edwards passes, finds Miserelli. Disrupted by Janowski. Miserelli gets a pass back to Edwards. Edwards sends it into the corner. We are back on even strength now as this puck is sent around the boards. Collected by Clara Thibault. Thibault weaving through. Clara Thibault off to the races. Trying to make her approach. Coming across, backhander stopped by Allen. Thibault recovers the puck and tries to keep up the attack. Tries a backhanded pass to the slot, knocked away. And the attempted clear does get across the blue line. That will be offsides. A big pass disruption there by number 23, Sam Zadroga. But a big save from Caroline Allen, who has done a good job keeping this game from turning into a multi-score affair here in the first period. 5:21 on the clock here in the first, as they're scrumming along the near side boards. It goes back to Edwards. Edwards pass deflected. Lower trying to take it. Lower chasing after it. Lower fires a shot. Well blocked by Lackey. Now into the corner it goes. Out of the scrum, coming with it. Brookline making an approach. I think this is Sui-Jin Koo. Fires a shot, turned away by Allen once again. A battle for the rebound, and it's won by the Whalers. Clear goes out to the neutral zone where it's taken by Jenna Rosetto. Sends a pass out to the near side. This is Caroline Hughes making her approach. Shot was disrupted there by Edwards. Couldn't get it off cleanly. And now after a battle in the corner, the clear is attempted, blocked off by Rosetto. Pass into some open space, taken by Hawkins. Hawkins pass turned away by Lower. Lower tries to clear, knocked away by Lackey. Now it's cleared out to the Brookline end. Pass up the middle is ultimately collected by Thibault. Thibault trying to get around a defender, slipped and fell, fired a shot. I think that was turned away by Allen, deflected wide. Hauser keeps it in the attack end. Now it's a race to the puck. Moise takes it. Attempted clear, stolen away by Janowski, but now it's taken by Beaudet. Her clear, deflected and taken by Pace. Pass to Janowski. Janowski tries to send one through. Thibault couldn't knock that one in. Moise trying to clear it, gets it up to Lower. Lower now on a 2-on-1 rush, gets a pass across, broken up by Hauser. Hauser's made a few nice defensive plays early in this one. Long shot goes well wide. Rumbles around the boards. Etta Reed keeps it on the attack. Now taken by Moise, going around the back, turns back around, looking around, sends it off the boards to herself, trying to weave her way through. It's deflected just out of the reach of Keene, and it's taken by Hauser. Now Hauser brings it in the attack end. Hauser making an approach. Hauser coming in off the side of the net, but recovered by Hauser. Turning back around, now surveying her options. Looking around, sends a crosser, and it's covered up. No, it's not! It's in! The officials saying it crossed the red line. Sophia Hauser with the goal. I thought that Allen had made the stop on that one, but I think they're saying it just squirted through her legs and across the red line before it could be stopped. So count that as a goal for Sophia Hauser. 2-0 now the lead for Brookline. Swayjin Koo takes it out of the face-off. Long shot turned away by Allen. Skating with it. Koo almost disrupted, but the pass does get to Beaudet. Beaudet skating with it. Deflected, but Beaudet chases it down. Backhand pass. Too much traffic. Now sent off the boards. Johnson couldn't quite recover it, and now Swayjin Koo taking off with it again. Another long shot. This one deflected wide. Attempted clear. Gets into the neutral zone. Now a scrum around the boards, and we've got a whistle. Not sure if that might have sailed into the Nantucket bench there. 2 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock here in the first period. Face off. Taken by Reed. Attempted pass. Deflects, and out of the scrum, Reed takes it again. Pushed along into the attack zone by Tebow. Now the attempt to clear is deflected. Janowski winds and fires, but misses wide. Now another scrum for the puck. The attempt to clear deflects and is taken again by Brookline. Pass back to Reed. Just went past the blue line. '11 is Emerson Pekarchik. Okay, they had her listed as 19, so that's where the mistake was. Thank you. Thank you, live chat. Now off the faceoff, controlled by Zadroga. Gets it into the neutral zone where it's taken by Reed. Passed across to Hauser. Now across the blue line, a pass for Janowski. Shot is walled off. Recovered on the rebound and passed back to Reed. Reed winds and fires, stopped by Allen. They try and poke it back in. They get the puck loose, but not in the net. Beaudet manages to get it up to Keene. Keene stolen away from behind by Pace, I believe. But Mizzarelli manages to push it up into the Brookline end where it's taken by Hauser. Hauser, long pass, misses Tebow. And is going to go all the way down to the Nantucket end where it's taken by Alex Weissentainer. Now into the neutral zone where it's being scrummed for, ultimately knocked back to Rosetto. Now a pass and another pass awkwardly recovered along the boards. Now Rosetto with the puck, sends a pass up, knocked away by Zadroga, recovered by Lackey, but knocked away by Lower. Chasing it down is Chin. Chin looking around, passes it out to Lackey. Lost it in the corner, taken by Keene. Taken back, I believe, by Hawkins. And it looks like, I think we got a penalty call against Nantucket. I think this one is going to go against Bailey Lower. And indeed, this will be another 2-minute, and this one's going to bleed into the second period as we have only 17 seconds left here in the first. Oh my gosh, do they have that rung up as a 5-minute major against Lower? Oh my goodness. So this will definitely bleed into the second period as the long clear gets all the way back to Charbonneau. Taken out of the back, I believe, by Lackey, but her pass off the mark taken by Peskarczyk. And that is going to end the first period. At the end of one, the score, the Brookline High Warriors 2, the Nantucket High Whalers 0. Brookline getting its first score from Julia Janowski, assisted by Clara Thibault, and the second goal from Sophia Hauser. Now, during this first intermission, I'd like to take a moment for a local charity spotlight. I'd like to tell you about the Brookline Community Foundation. For over 100 years, the Brookline Community Foundation has been a trusted partner, supporting Brookline by investing in organizations and initiatives that help create opportunity and promote equity for everyone who lives, learns, works, and plays in our community. Among the foundation's many grant programs is the BCF Scholarship Fund for Brookline High School, which provides graduating BHS students with scholarships to help fund post-secondary education. To date, 81 BHS students have received scholarships from this fund to help them as they build their futures. Your support is crucial to supporting Brookline youth as they embark on the next steps in their educational journeys. Visit brooklinecommunity.org or call 617-566-4442 to learn more about the BCF Scholarship Fund for Brookline High School and how you can make a difference right here in Brookline. And remember, as always, you can find all the information you need about our local charity spotlight down in the description section down below. And I love seeing how lively the live chat has gone. I see Ryan Wilson, a member of the BHS boys hockey team, in here saying, "Go Brookline." Nice to hear from you, Ryan. Hope you guys are enjoying have enjoyed your holiday tournament up in Vermont. I saw you guys got your first win of the year. That was awesome. David Katzman, who I believe is the father of another BHS boys hockey player, Dylan Katz, in the live chat saying, "Heard you, Ryan." Caroline Montgomery expressing her support for Nantucket number 6, Grace Keene. And we see a member of the BHS girls hockey team, Grayson Davis, in the live chat shouting out her teammates. I'm not sure if she's injured or anything. Grayson, if you are, I hope you get well soon. I'm sure the team can't wait to have you back. From Ellen Collins, watching from Sandwich, "Go Whalers." And then lastly from Snoozin Olar, watching from Chautauqua, New York, "My nieces rock, Bailey and Mason Lower." So I'm really happy to see so many people, giving so many positive vibes out here for both teams. Remember, if you're enjoying the broadcast, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my live streams, including all upcoming BHS boys and girls hockey games this winter. And okay, Grayson Davis in the live chat letting me know she's got a concussion but will be back very soon. Sucks that you're hurt, but glad it's not anything, long term. Take your time, take your recovery, look out for yourself. Those things can be potentially dangerous long term, so make sure you're good to go and that you're back at 100 when you return to the ice for the Warriors, because I know they will love to have you back. So in the meantime, in this first intermission, Brookline 2, Nantucket 0, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan from Walter Brown Arena. I'm going to be taking a brief break off the mic, but I will be back with the second period of this game. Stay tuned. Hello again, back on the mic. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan here at Walter Brown Arena to give you live coverage of today's high school varsity girls hockey contest between the visiting Nantucket High Whalers and the hosting Brookline High Warriors. As we get ready for the second period of this contest, Brookline with a 2-0 lead off of goals from Julia Janowski and Sophia Hauser. As the teams come back out on the ice to get ready for this one. And looking at, as the Whalers come out as well, I'm looking at the jersey numbers for Brookline. And they've got a number 25, which I believe is Birdie Hawkins, but then they've also got, I think I saw a number 10 out there. I must be misreading that number. Because there literally is not a number 10 on the roster anymore now that Hawkins is listed at 25. So color me confused, but that's okay. So it'll be interesting to see how things go here in the second period. Brookline was dominant in shots, 10-3 in the first period, according to the scoreboard here at Walter Brown. I know you guys can't see it at the level I'm holding the camera. But also of note is that Nantucket's number 17, Bailey Lower, will be starting this period in the penalty box as she was given a 5-minute major at the end of the period. I don't know quite what it was. I mean, I saw her deliver a hard hit on, I believe, Hawkins late in the period, and I guess it qualified for a 5-minute major. So Brookline will have a 4-minute and 44-second power play to start this period. Here we go. As first off, that was Mia Bodette who pushed it into the Brookline end. Now a bit of a weird turnover taken away by Lydia Johnson. Pass to Miserelli! Miserelli scores! Nantucket gets their first goal on the shorthand. Boy, you talk about a goal sneaking up on you. Within the first 14 seconds of this second period, Nantucket is on the board. Goal scored by number 26, Claire Miserelli, assisted by number 8, Lydia Johnson, and number 15, Mia Bodette. Face-off this time goes down into the Brookline end where it's corralled by Riley Lackey. Passes away from the forecheck from Miserelli, gets it to Shayna Chin, who skates it out into the neutral zone. Chin gains the blue line, weaving around, looking around, fires a shot turned away by Caroline Allen. Now Bodette once again clears it. And it's taken by Lackey. Long pass, misses Caroline Hughes, taken by Piskarczyk. And now a long shot corralled by Jenna Rosetto. Pass attempts to tap across, but almost stolen away. Forcing it in was Sway-Chin Koo, but lost track of it as Piskarczyk clears it out. Attempted clear, walled off by Piskarczyk. Peskarczyk lost her footing, and the puck is taken back by Brookline. Passed across to Sway-Jin Koo. Pass up, misses Izzy Pace. Pace chases it down, coming around the back, looking around, still surveying. Now sends a crosser in, deflected and cleared out by Beaudet. Chased down by Pace. Pace skating around the back once again, sends a backhand pass. And now a pass goes way back to Etta Reed. Reed launches one, saved and covered up by Allen. Still 2:48 on the clock on the penalty against Bailey Lower. And so far during this 5-minute major, the only goal scored has been by Nantucket. Face off. Corralled by number 22, Diane Lee. Attempted clear is collected by Reed. Long shot saved by Allen, and Allen again covers it up. Another face-off, won by Brookline. Quick backhander from Koo goes wide. Now pushed away by Weissentainer, excuse me. And now a battle along the boards between Weissentainer and Lee. Ultimately coming out with it is Brookline. Attempted pass through by Koo. Misses the mark. Attempted clear is walled off by Reed and sent around the boards. Weissentainer tries to send it up the boards. Deflected by Hauser into open ice. Lee had it for a second. Chases it back down. Passes it away. Edwards tries to clear it, but it's chased down, I believe, by Chin, and Chin lost the puck, and it goes back to the neutral zone. Etta Reed passes it up to Chin. Chin gains the blue line, making her approach. Shot was deflected, goes right back to Chin. Pass misses Koo. Goes into open ice where it's chased down by Lackey. Pass across, a shot is walled off by Allen. That shot coming from Izzy Pace. Attempted clear is blocked by Janowski. Out of the scrum, Janowski takes it. Coming around the back, looking for a pass. Sends one back to Lackey. Lackey's shot blocked. Skipping along, attempted clear. And they could not push it towards the net. Sent around the boards. Lackey sends it back around. Pace skating with it. Through traffic, Janowski ends up taking it, passing out to Pace. Disrupted from behind by Miserelli. And a penalty is called against Brookline. I think that's going to be a high stick against Izzy Pace. With 59 seconds left on the penalty against Bailey Lower, Brookline gets no score on the power play. And we will get 4-on-4 action for the next 59 seconds, and then a Nantucket power play for 1 minute and 1 second. Out of the face-off, Diane Lee skating with it. Lee pushes it into the attack end, trying to chase it down herself. She gets there, but is deflected by Beaudet. Beaudet sends it around the boards. Peskarczyk tries to clear it, but it's deflected high, and it bounces into the neutral zone. Now a pass low, being chased after by Lee, but harassed by Peskarczyk. Puck is knocked away, deflects right to Rosetto. Rosetto sends a shot well wide of the net. Beaudet's going to get there first, and her clear is going to go all the way down to the Brookline end, and that is going to be icing because we're no longer in a power play. We're in 4-on-4 situation, and at even strength, that is icing. Face off. Won by Janowski. Long shot deflected wide. Beaudet sends it around the boards. Attempted insert walled off by Keene. Another long one, and that's going to be icing again. Again, the Whalers are not currently on the penalty kill. And in fact, with the penalty against Bailey Lower ending, They are now on the power play for the next minute, with Izzy Pace serving her time in the box for the high stick penalty. It's now 5-on-4 in favor of the Whalers, and the Whalers control the faceoff. Beaudet skating with it. Pass goes up to Piskarczyk. And she takes it, is walled at the blue line, but it's recovered by Lydia Johnson. Knocked away again, and an attempted crosser from Piskarczyk cannot find Miserelli. On defense was Etta Reed. Brookline clears it out. Julia Janowski applying the forecheck. Stole it for a second, but now out of the scrum, it's taken by Piskarczyk. Piskarczyk gains the blue line, fires a shot, blocked by Hauser. Piskarczyk recovers. Pass gets away from Weissentainer. Chased down by Beaudet. Beaudet now skating, passes it up for Miserelli. Miserelli couldn't quite stay with it, and it's recovered by Lee. Lee's attempted hit gets dangerously into the slot, but is cleared out, recovered by Beaudet. Beaudet sends an insert, goes well high over the net. Covered a pass for Grace Keene. Keene turns around, can't get a pass off, and it's cleared out to the neutral zone by Brookline. Taken by Weissentainer. Pass goes across to Beaudet. Beaudet trying to weave her way through, lost the puck, cleared out, gets up to Chin. Chin skating, runs out of room. We are back on even strength. Chin manages to launch it deep into the Nantucket end. Deflection, Caroline Hughes trying to stay with it, can't quite do it. Lee recovered for a second, it's deflected into the air. Now Janowski tries to pass it for Lee. Pass now goes back to Rosetto, across to Lackey. Long shot saved by Allen. No one could recover that rebound, as this one is going to go way up ice. Chased down by Rosetto, no icing. Rosetto tries to backhand it. It's knocked back. That's Mason Lower firing the shot, covered up by Charbonneau. So after all that penalty mess, we are finally back at even strength, 5-on-5. We got 8 minutes to go here in the second period. Only goal of the period so far coming shorthanded from Claire Miserelli. Face-off controlled by Brookline. Out of the scrum, Lackey passes it up to Janowski. Sends it out to open space. Racing with it, firing a shot, missing wide. Out of the scrum for the puck. It's corralled by Lackey, sent around the boards where it's going to be chased down. Pass goes back out to Pace. Pace sends it to the middle to Janowski. Shot, fires, juicy deflection! Izzy Pace! The shot from Janowski was deflected away by a defender, but it wound up right at the stick for Izzy Pace for a close-range backhand score. 3-1, now the Brookline lead. Izzy Pace assisted by Julia Janowski, who now has a goal and an assist today. Out of the faceoff, it's pushed into the Brookline end. Passed from Reed to Hauser. Now up the near side to Hawkins, who tried to pass, knocked away, but recovered by Hawkins herself. Sends it into the Nantucket end, where it's taken by Beaudet. Beaudet sends it off the boards, taken by Reed. Knocked back, taken now by Samantha Barrett. Barrett sends it up ice. Hauser takes it away, sends it into open ice, where it's being chased down by Beaudet. Beaudet clears the blue line, sends it forward, where it's taken by Reed. Pass goes up to Hawkins. Hawkins skating with it, lost control, but somehow gets a lucky deflection back, sends it across the blue line, where it's taken by Beaudet, passed off the boards, deflects off the skate of Miserelli, taken back by Brookline. This is Hauser sending a pass up the middle, finding her target. That is number 4, Casey McCarthy. trying to skate their way through. That one is broken up, recovered by number 2, Sadie Patterson. Now another deflection, and Reed sends it all the way down to the Nantucket end, where it's taken by Beaudet, and I think they will whistle for icing. 6:09 on the clock here in the second period. Brookline now leading 3-1. No, they called a penalty on Miserelli. They called a penalty on Miserelli, so Brookline goes back on the power play for the next 2 minutes. They weren't able to capitalize on the 5-minute major. Now we'll see what they can do with 2 minutes. Chin with the puck, passes across, long shot deflected. Almost a great rebound, almost poked in again. Great wall off by Caroline Allen, and now a steal. This is Peskarczyk. Are they going to go for the shorthander again? Peskarczyk approaching. Somehow walled off by Charbonneau. Might have gone off the pole. Now Brookline skating on the counter. This is Shayna Chin getting the blue line, trying to weave around one last defender. Makes her approach shot. Saved by Allen. And they couldn't get the rebound. Chin recovers. Passes it back to Hauser. Hauser launches a long one. Deflection. Sent away. Now a long shot from Reed. Walled off by Zadroga. Recovered by Chin. Chin's attempted pass walled off by Peskarczyk and now cleared out by the Whalers. Fantastic saves on both ends of the ice. Hauser launches it into the Nantucket end. Taken around the back by the Whalers. Skating with it is Bailey Lower. Lower trying to fend off the forecheck. Tries to clear it. Nothing doing. Pass gets away from Hauser into the neutral zone. Controlled by Reed. Pass intercepted by Lower. Lower making it a short-handed approach. Oh, that's going to draw a penalty. Again, Brookline runs into trouble while on the power play and ends up committing a penalty of their own. Etta Reed will be going into the box for what was a pretty obvious hooking call there, forced by Bailey Lower. So we're going to have even strength for the next 26 seconds, and then the remaining minute 34 will be a power play for Nantucket. Face-off, won by the Whalers. Back to Beaudet. Shot deflected away. Now skating with it is Pace. Pace couldn't get through Beaudet. And the puck is recovered by the Whalers. Sent around the boards. Now jammed into the boards. Finally recovered by Lower. Lower skating with it. Gains the blue line. Long shot saved by Charbonneau. Now taken back by the Whalers. A weird press against the corner. Recovered. A juicy chance for the Whalers. Beaudet couldn't push it in. Too many white jerseys in there. Taken by Janowski. Attempted clear. Walled off by Miserelli. Long shot. Deflected away by Hauser. Hauser, a long clear, but that's going to go right to the net, so that won't be icing as it's taken by Caroline Allen. Dropped off for Weissentainer. Long pass up to Peskarczyk. Gets swarmed by defenders, taken away. Attempted clear, walled off by Keene. Keene scrumming with Rosetto along the boards. Rosetto tries to clear. Peskarczyk there, knocked away. And now Brookline clears it out to the neutral zone where it's taken by Weissentainer. Across to Beaudet. Beaudet tries a pass off the boards, knocked away by Lee. Now forced into the corner. Lackey gets there first and knocks over Miserelli. Peskarczyk comes in to take the puck. Pass back to Beaudet. Launches one, saved by Charbonneau. Now in the corner, Lackey tries to clear, again recovered by Beaudet. Beaudet, long shot, well wide. Now cleared out by Brookline by Sway-Chin Koo. Race for the puck. Attempted clear, recovered by Diane Lee. Nobody's in the box anymore. Oh my gosh, a goal was scored! I was checking the penalty box for a second, and I think a goal was just scored by Sway-Jin Koo. You cannot blink when you're watching hockey. There's just too much going on in this sport. 2 minutes and 27 seconds left in the second period. And that goal by, I believe, Sway-Jin Koo. If anyone saw it differently, let me know in the live chat. But I believe it was Sway-Jin Koo assisted by Diane Lee. I'll be sure to check the tape on that later to confirm for myself. But if anyone saw in the live chat and wants to correct me right now, I encourage you to do so. Now a shot goes wide from Brookline. 4-1, now the Warriors lead. Mason Lower tries to clear. Hauser keeps it on the attack. Adeline Edwards sends it around the boards. Weird ricochet off the boards, and Bailey Lower tried to take it out. Lost control of it, taken away by Chin. Pass back to Hauser, up to Birdie Hawkins. Now up to Caroline Hughes. Hughes pass deflected away by Edwards, chased down by Beaudet. Beaudet looking around, tries a pass, deflected. And Reed kept it on the attack, but now it's taken by Lower. Lower gains the blue line, weaving around, fires a shot, saved by Charbonneau, might have been going high anyhow. Brookline tries to clear, taken by Beaudet. Beaudet trying to fend off the back check from Brookline as the pass gets to Lower. Now poked away by Hauser, attempted clear, walled off by Beaudet again. Another long shot, again walled off, this time by Chin, who takes it on the counter. Chin lifts it into the Nantucket end as Brookline commits to a full change. Beaudet, long attempted clear, walled off for a second by Rosetto, but now taken out by the Whalers. Passed up to Mason Lower. Now she lifts one in as Nantucket goes on a line change. Long pass up, deflected away. Now more scrumming for the puck. Miserelli came out with it for a second, but now taken back by Clara Thibault. And that shot is stopped by Allen. And Grayson Davis coming through for me again in the live chat, confirming that it was Sway-Jin Koo who scored that fourth goal. I thought that's who it was, but again, I was briefly looking back at the penalty boxes to confirm we were at even strength, and then all of a sudden I turned back and everyone's cheering, and I'm like, oh shoot. Out of the face-off, it's now a race for the puck. Piskarchik's going to get there first, but couldn't control it cleanly. The persistent defense of Riley Lackey. Rosetto sends it off the boards. Now lifted, taken out of the scrum by Lee. Lee skating, turns around, and that is going to end the second period. Our score at the end of 2, the Brookline Warriors 4, the Nantucket Whalers 1. The Whalers with the shocking shorthanded goal to start the second period. That goal scored by Claire Miserelli, assisted by Lydia Johnson and Mia Beaudet. But Brookline comes through with 2 goals of their own. One by Izzy Pace, assisted by Julia Janowski, and one by Sway-Jin Koo, which I believe was assisted by Diane Lee. Brookline 4, Nantucket 1. From Walter Brown Arena, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I'm going to take a brief break off the mic, but I'll be back for the third period. Stay tuned. Hello again, back on the mic. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, coming to you live from Walter Brown Arena in Boston, Massachusetts. Here to bring you the third period of this high school varsity girls hockey contest between the visiting Nantucket Whalers and the hosting Brookline Warriors. The home team holding on to a comfortable 4-1 lead, but they should be cautious not to rest on their laurels. There's still plenty of hockey left to be played, and we've seen what can happen when you're not watching out, as Nantucket scored their only goal so far today on the shorthand to start the second period, and then almost scored another shorthanded goal on a couple of occasions. So that just goes to show, even when you think you've got a comfortable situation, you can't take it for granted. The lone goal for Nantucket coming from Captain Claire Miserelli, assisted by fellow captain Lydia Johnson and defenseman Mia Bodette. While for Brookline, the goal scorers Julia Janowski, assisted by Clara Thibault. Sophia Hauser on one of the weirder goals you'll see, as she's tried to send a crosser through and it just took a weird deflection and barely crossed the red line. And then Izzy Pace, assisted by Janowski, on a nice putback after the initial shot by Janowski was blocked. And then Sui Jin Koo, assisted, I believe, by Diane Lee. Of course, I will go back and check the tape myself to confirm for my stats. The Whalers coming back out onto the ice for the third period. And, you know, one thing I haven't mentioned is the number of Nantucket fans out here at Walter Brown. You can't really see with, you know, my camera mostly focused on the ice, but there are a number of Nantucket Whaler fans who made, you know, what I would consider to be a bit of an inconvenient trip out here to Brookline from Nantucket. I mean, I'm no expert on geography, but I don't believe that's, you know, the easiest trip to make in the around Eastern Massachusetts. So, got to give props to the Whaler faithful for coming out to support their team, even if it might possibly be in a losing effort. But like I said, still plenty of hockey left. 15 minutes on the clock for the third and final period. According to the scoreboard, Brookline with a 19-7 shot advantage. And that shot advantage has translated into a lead on the scoreboard. A reminder once again, if you end up enjoying this live stream, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams, including all Brookline High boys and girls hockey home games here at Walter Brown throughout this winter season. And if there's anything you'd like to say, I encourage you to say it in the live chat. We've had a very lively live chat here in this one, which I've been very happy to see. And as we await Brookline to coming out, we see Nantucket opening the third period with their Peskarchik, Miserelli, Keene forward line and a defensive pairing of Bodette and Barrett. Brookline sends out their forward line of what appears to be Chin, Lee, and I think Pace. Or no, Koo, excuse me. And a defensive pairing of Hauser and Reed. So here we go, third period. 4-1 the Brookline lead, and we've got a whistle already. I think they called offsides on Nantucket, and so we'll get a neutral zone face-off. Out of the face-off, it's a scrum. Hauser sends it off the boards. Attempting to push it out was Barrett, but it's pushed back into the Nantucket end by Chin. Beaudet gets to the puck first. Gets a pass up to Bailey Lower, knocked away for a second by Reed, but then recovered by Beaudet. Beaudet off to the races, passes back to Lower. Long shot goes well wide. Could not be recovered by Beaudet. A pass to the slot. Lower tried to recover it, but too many white jerseys in there. It's cleared out to the neutral zone where it's taken by Barrett. Sent off the boards, taken now by Brookline. Long insert as Brookline commits to a line change. Beaudet with the puck, gets it past Lee. Not much backup there, but Lee deflects it into open space where it's taken by Pace. Couldn't get around Lower, and it's taken by Beaudet. Attempted to clear off the boards, knocked down by Rosetto. Sent around the boards here. Attempted to clear by Barrett, again walled off by Pace. Pace pinned to the boards now. As they scrum for the puck, it's knocked loose. Tebow trying to fight for it. Kicks it to herself, comes around the back, sends it off the side of the net, taken by Janowski. Janowski pokes it in on the second effort. Julia Janowski with her second goal of the game, assisted once again by Clara Tebow. Great effort from Tebow as fought her way around Mia Beaudet. Kicked the puck around the back of the net so that she could stay with it while she was still getting untangled from her defender. And then just sent it into the crease where Janowski, with a second effort, managed to put it through. That's going to be an offsides against the Whalers. So now Brookline with the 5-1 lead as Janowski has her second goal of the game, Tebow her second assist. Face-off is won by Brookline. Taken out the back, sent along the boards. Lee trying to chase it down, lifts it out to center ice, where it's controlled by Adeline Edwards. Tries to send it up to Claire Miserelli, who lifts it into the Brookline end, but it's taken back by Rosetto, sent into the neutral zone, where it's ultimately recovered by Piskarczyk. Piskarczyk's pass could not safely find Patterson, and now out of the scrum, it's taken by Caroline Hughes. Hughes gets around a defender, sends a pass, knocked away by Miserelli. Taken by Patterson. Patterson tries a pass, walled off by Chin, and sent back to Reed. Reed's pass gets through everybody and into the Nantucket end. Edwards sends it up to Johnson, who sends it across to Bailey Lower. Knocked away by Sway-Jin Koo, taken for a second by Casey McCarthy. Now Koo tries to approach. Hard collision, and that's going to be a penalty against the Whalers. And in a coincidence to end all coincidences, a Brookline player is in the live chat watching from Nantucket. Rosie Carew Lyons cheering on her teammates here and her fellow senior Julia Janowski, who now has 2 scores, and as Rosie has pointed out, just 1 away from the hat trick. Passes across to Reed. Tapped up to Koo. Koo trying to skate around Beaudet, tries to hand it off to Janowski, who does wrestle it away, sends a pass across. Trying to skate around the back, tangled up with a defender. Coming around the back is Pace, tries to jam it in, and it's swallowed up by Allen. A minute 23 still left on the penalty against Bailey Lower. Oh, excuse me. Face-off is controlled by Brookline. Long pass back to Hauser. Shot is saved by Allen. Bodette sends it around the boards, takes a weird ricochet, ultimately recovered by Chin. Pass across, now back to Chin. Chin winds and fires, saved by Allen. A minute 3 left on the power play as Brookline makes another shift, as does Nantucket. Face-off is ultimately cleared out by Nantucket. Chasing it down is Rosetto. Backhands it over to Lackey, who sends it up to Lee. Lee lost control of it there, and it's knocked away by Miserelli. Now around the boards, it's taken, attempted pass, misses the mark. Miserelli, long shot goes wide. Almost a chance there for Patterson, but not quite. Brookline tries to clear, but again walled off by the forecheck of Patterson as Rosetto sends it around for Lackey. A little over 20 seconds left on the power play. Now Brookline corrals it. This is Chin gaining the blue line. Chin waving around, making her approach. Lost control. Oh, almost knocked in by Hughes. I thought Chin lost it, but it was actually a pass. Chin recovers the puck, skating around, passes across. Lackey sends it off the boards, recovered by Lee. Lee skating, turning around, looking, passing back to Chin. Chin back to Lackey. We're back at even strength. Back to Chin. Chin fakes, coming across, around the back. Knocked away. Edwards with the takeaway, tries to clear. Rosetto pins it to the boards. Tries to keep it back on the attack, but Edwards clears it out on the second effort. Chin tangled up with Miserelli, just has to backhand it, and it's taken back by Piskarczyk. Long shot is turned away by Charbonneau. Rosetto, pass across, finds Lee. Lee pushes it up ice, corralled by Weissentainer. Pass across to Zadroga. Zadroga pass misses the mark. It's taken by Hawkins. Pass up. Taken around the back, knocked away, recovered by McCarthy. McCarthy tries to insert, walled off, taken by Weissentainer. Or no, by Bailey Lower. Lower off to the races, but just poked away by Hauser. Now Hauser lost control of it, knocked away by Zadroga. Walled off by McCarthy. Scrum in the neutral zone. Chased down by Piskarczyk. No icing as it was deflected. Taken out the back by Reed. Clear gets out to the neutral zone. But back into the Brookline end where it's taken again by Reed. Poked away by Lower. Recovered by Hauser. Pass for Reed. Again deflected away from Reed. This time taken by Swaychin Koo. But her attempted insert deflects off the official. And it's sent back around the boards by the Whalers. Hauser, a long push there. And that one is going to go for icing as no one was able to touch it. 8 minutes and 7 seconds left here in regulation. Brookline leads Nantucket 5-1. Faceoff takes a weird hop, but ultimately forced out by Lackey, now taken by Pace. Pass misses the mark. It's chased down by Bodette. Bodette comes around the back. Skating across, gains the blue line. Coming around, fires a shot, saved by Charbonneau. Couldn't quite clear it, taken by Miserelli. Another save by Charbonneau. Almost a tantalizing rebound, but couldn't be collected. Attempted clear is deflected and taken. Skating through is Pace. Pace centering pass just misses. Aimed at Janowski. Cleared out, gets to Reed. Across to Hauser. Sent careening around the boards. Taken now by Beaudet. Beaudet pass up. Finds Bailey Lower. Lower trying to weave through too many white jerseys. And it's cleared out by Brookline. We see a new face seeing the ice for the first time for Brookline. That's number 31, who is not on my roster, so I'm not quite sure who that is. If anyone in the live chat knows, let me know. As Lee's pass misses, taken away by the Whalers. Skating with it now is Lower. Bailey Lower moving with it. Long shot turned away by Charbonneau. And it's sent back around the boards. Edwards tries an insert. Knocked away, taken by Chin. Chin skating with it. Gains the blue line. Gets around a defender. Couldn't weave through the last one. Edwards, the last line of defense on that one. And now Lower skating on the counterattack. Again, decides for a long shot well wide of the net, and it's taken by Rosetto while the Whalers make a change. Pass up to Lee and then up to Chin. Knocked away. Stolen by Patterson, but couldn't find an open teammate. Brookline attempts to clear. Edwards keeps it on the attack. Miserelli couldn't quite find it, and it's cleared out by the Warriors. No icing as it's taken by Edwards. Passed up to Peskarczyk. Peskarczyk skating with it. Stolen away for a second by Tebow. Now taken back by Peskarczyk. Peskarczyk turns around, keeps with the puck. Still stays with it. Weaving around, tries a centering pass, but couldn't hit Patterson. Now number 10, who is also not on my roster, was trying to clear it out, but it's taken back by Edwards. Pass gets to Patterson, but the second pass misses. Peskarczyk chases it down in the corner. Sends it back to Edwards. Edwards across to Lower. Shot blocked by Tebow. Now taken by Koo. Long pass misses everybody. No icing. Edwards takes it out the back. Off the boards. Taken by Peskarczyk. Peskarczyk sends it off the boards, and it's taken by Reed. Reed off the boards, and it's ultimately taken by Peskarczyk. Weaving around. Still weaving around. Too much traffic, but now Lower fires a shot, and it's saved by Charbonneau. Oh my gosh, they got it loose! That's Mason Lower. Nothing but sneaky goals in this game, as I'm not even sure what happened there. It looked like Charbonneau was going to cover it up. It looked like a defenseman was helping her. And just, I don't know, the puck got away from him, and all of a sudden in comes Mason Lower to poke it home for Nantucket's second goal of the game. 4:27 on the clock here in the third, 5-2 the Brookline lead. Down to the near boards. Hawkins scrumming for it. Sent up ice, taken now. And Lower couldn't fire that shot cleanly. It goes wide. Mason Lower sends it around the boards. Hard collision. Sends it into open ice. Battling for it is Caroline Hughes and Mason Lower. Gets into the neutral zone. Attempted insert. Off the deflections. Lower had it for a second. Now again, the deflections fly. And now we've got an offsides call against Nantucket. .348 on the clock here in the third. Off the faceoff, it's controlled by Beaudet. Out of the scrum, It's ultimately recovered by Beaudet herself. Lackey clears it out, gets it to Pace. Pace pass, knocked away from Janowski, recovered by Pace. Pace sends a pass for a wide open Janowski. She's trying to push it in. Couldn't get it, recovered, passed around. Back around the crease, Pace tries it. Walled off again by Allen. Pace found Janowski wide open, but the pass just slightly off the mark, so Janowski couldn't get a clean one-timer off of it. And instead, it was just repeated attempts to try and jam it past Allen that just did not work. Face-off is ultimately controlled by Nantucket, but Lackey takes it back, gets it to Pace, shot turned away by Allen. Rebound recovered by Janowski, who tries a shot, and it's scooped up by Allen. Brookline makes a forward line change after a nice shift from the Janowski-Pace-Tebow line. Face-off goes back to Lackey, tries a backhand, deflects. Lee tried to push it forward, knocked away by Barrett. Still scrumming for it on the near boards. Lee comes away with it. Lee coming around the back. Still surveying her options, knocks it back to Lackey. Lackey a pass over to Chin. Chin looking around, coming around the back. Just weaving her way through. Pass. Recovered by Chin herself off the skate of Lackey. But now the Whalers defense clears it out into the neutral zone where it's taken by Rosetto. Across to Lee. Lee's pass misses her target. It's taken away by Miserelli. Knocked loose by Lackey once again. Great defense from the captain as Koo takes it. Koo makes an approach, tries a centering pass, saved by Allen. Koo comes around the back, couldn't get the angle on the turnaround. Now another shot is walled off. That one came from Hauser. Now Mason Lower trying to get it out, gets it out to her sister Bailey. Bailey Lower making her approach, weaves, shoots, and fires the laser. Bailey Lower off the assist from her sister Mason Lower. And just like that, Nantucket's now got 3. Some great stick skills from Bailey Lower to weave around the one defenseman that had a chance to stop her, and then an absolute laser of a shot to the left side of the net. Nets Nantucket their 3rd goal of the day. 5-3 the score, 1:48, and I mean, now you got to start thinking about it. Now Nantucket is got to start thinking about, okay, when do we call a timeout? When do we pull our goalie? Things like that. Because all of a sudden you're within 2 scores. You know, it's like I said at the start of the period, you can't rest on your laurels. It doesn't matter how big your lead is. If a team is able to get within 2, then they can potentially score and tie the game within the last couple minutes. It's happened before. Face-off is wrestled for and ultimately goes back to Edwards. Sent off the boards by Pace. Goes all the way to the back end, taken by Beaudet. Beaudet skating around, poke checked by Janowski, but Beaudet recovers off the boards. Tries to clear once again, gets a pass to herself, weaves through a couple defenders, and gets a pass up to the neutral zone to Bailey Lower. Lower tries to take another shot, deflected, almost got the putback there. Bailey Lower refusing to lie down. Got to keep an eye on the Nantucket net now, see if they try to pull the goalie, but now this one is stolen away. Izzy Pace making an approach, laying out for it was Bailey Lower to get that deflection, and now Beaudet sends it off the boards, and Lower tries to clear, taken by Hauser. Hauser launches one that bounces all the way to the back end. Beaudet takes it. Beaudet trying to fend off the forecheck from Tebow. Tebow wrestles it away. It gets pinned to the corner. Out of it comes Edwards. Pass off the boards, gets to Keene. Keane manages to keep it and pass it over to Bailey Lower. Lower against the blue line, winds and fires, saved by Charbonneau. Now Lydia Johnson fighting for it in the corner, gets it out. Lower tries a pass to the slot, knocked away by the Brookline defense. That was Sophia Hauser with the good knockaway out of the slot. Now Beaudet skating with it. Pass, knocked away, hard collision in the neutral zone. Keane comes out of the mess with the puck. Keane making an approach, poked away by Lee. Lee skates it into the corner. Now weaves through into the neutral zone. Goes around a pick from Koo, and that will seal it. The Nantucket Whalers made a valiant effort and gave Brookline a bit of a scare, but the Warriors do indeed earn their first win of the 2022-23 season. The final score here at Walter Brown: the Brookline Warriors 5, the Nantucket Whalers 3. Quite the game. A lot of twists and turns here. Summing up the scoring, the first goal of the game came from Brookline in the first period pretty early. Julia Janowski scoring off an assist from Clara Thibault. Later in the first period, Sophia Hauser got a very strange goal on what looked to initially be an attempted centering pass. It just got a weird ricochet through the legs of the goaltender for Brookline's second goal as they took a 2-0 lead at the end of the first period. Brookline came into the second period with a 4+ minute power play to work with, and yet it was Nantucket that scored within the first 14 seconds on a shorthanded score by Claire Miserelli, assisted by Lydia Johnson and Mia Beaudet. But then Brookline managed to respond. Izzy Pace scored off an assist from Janowski as a blocked shot from Janowski happened to bounce right to Pace's stick for an easy punch into the net to make it 3-1. And then Brookline got another goal from Sway-Jin Koo, assisted, I think, from Diane Lee, to take a 4-1 lead into the final period. And in the final period, Brookline was able to take a 5-1 lead off Julia Janowski's second goal of the game. It took a couple of tries to push it past Caroline Allen, but Janowski did get her second goal, assisted once again by Clara Thibault. And it seemed like Brookline was going to have an easy win, but Nantucket really made it a game. First, another strange goal, this one coming from Mason Lower, as it looked like the Brookline goalie had the puck covered up after a long shot was stopped, but then somehow it got away from her, and Mason Lower made the heads-up play and poked it home to make it 5-2. And then Bailey Lower, off the assist from Mason, gained the blue line, deked around a defender, and launched a long shot from beyond the face-off circles that just seared into the back of the net to make it 5-3. But ultimately, that would be the final score of the game, and that would be our final. Brookline 5, Nantucket 3. Thank you all so much for tuning in and watching today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Remember, if you enjoyed this live stream, be sure to hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams, including all Brookline High girls and boys hockey home games here at Walter Brown Arena throughout this 2022-23 season. And if you got anything you want to say, but the live stream is already over, you can say it in the comment section down below. Also go down below to the description section for all the information you need about our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Community Foundation. Check out their website, find out all you need to know about the BCF Scholarship Fund for Brookline High School and many of their other great initiatives to help the community and how you can make a difference right here in Brookline. Check out the bottom right corner of your screen. You can see the URL to my personal website, jessesports.com. Find out more about me, the freelance sportscasting services that I provide, and how you can commission those services for your favorite team or player. Below that, my email address, jgms88@gmail.com. If you want to contact me directly with any questions or requests you may have. And then below that, the URL to my Instagram account, instagram.com/jgms88. Follow me on Instagram, where I post highlights from previous live streams. But that is going to do it from here at Walter Brown Arena. Final score, Brookline 5, Nantucket 3. The Warriors get their first win of the season, improve to 1-4 on the year. And from Walter Brown Arena, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night.